I know on this channel I've been talking every once in a while about Sandman. I'll mention it every once in a while. It's a comic that was written by Neil Gaiman. I think it started around 87, 88, I want to say, and ran until the mid 90s. Um, and just like to put it shortly, it's my favorite comic series of all time. I've never read any other comic that I felt affected me as much or I felt was as clever, more written, or experimental. And these are all aspects of storytelling and art making that I think I sound like such a tool. Art making that I value very much. When I was in high school, I was going through a big Japanese phase, like just a big Japanophile phase, and I think a lot of people do this when I think they're teenagers and they're not too they're having trouble appreciating what they have or uh, things that they're used to. So I mean, I was like straying away from American comics and cartoons and all that, and I was getting into anime and manga, and I thought that it was all the best, and like, oh, Japanese video games are the best, and all that stuff. And I guess I was a junior in high school when I really, a late junior, I guess, going into my senior year, when I decided, hey, let me start looking at more Western stories again, because this is just, it's too dorky, and I can't be doing this the rest of my life, just uh, sucking on the dick of all these Japanese stories. So I pick up a few books to try and like revitalize my love or whatever interest I had for American stories and comics again. And one of them was Watchmen, Sandman, and Daredevil when Brian Michael Bendis was writing it. I think that was around 2003 he started it. All three really good books. Good enough to yank me out of my Japanophile phase and making me way more open to stories that came from different cultures and were a lot more. I don't know. It just helped me diversify my opinion more. I actually, to be honest, reading Sandman and Watchmen and all that stuff really just pulled me out of the Japanese phase. And I never read manga or watched anime as much as I used to after reading those books. But and I recommend you read Watchmen if you haven't, and you like comics at all. I actually recommend anyone to read any of these books, even if you've never picked up comics before. The only disclaimer I'm going to give you is that if you start with these, it's prime. It's like you giving a drug addict or something, or a person who's never done drugs before, like the purest version of the hardest drug. I mean, like, you don't go back from that, which is how I feel with Sandman. It's really some of the best stuff, and I haven't even started talking about it yet. I guess I should, for the uninitiated, I should tell you, very basically, it's about several beings who are the personification of abstract portions of humanity, like dream, despair, death, destiny, destruction. It follows Dream, who is Sandman, and he goes by the name of Morpheus. The story picks up when he's breaking out of this prison that some mage set for him. And I promise you, if any of this sounds corny, it really isn't when you get into the book. It spawned a huge following, but that's not what I'm supposed to be talking about right now. I'm supposed to be telling you about the story. The Sandman is an incredible character. It's a very moody guy who is in control of dreams. He is dreams. He controls dreams. The idea is like when you go to bed at night, he's in charge of the nightmares that go on in your head, and just really imagination in general. Neil Gaiman is an excellent writer, and he really plays with the roles that these different creatures have. I mean, these different personifications have, how they interact with the world and with normal people. That's also a recurring theme. It's really hard for me to describe to you why I like this story, or this universe, I guess, that Neil Gaiman created in such a short period of time. And I really don't want to sit here babbling for a really long time about it. the if you get anything out of this, I just want you to, if you like experimental art and conceptual fantasy stories, just pick up the first volume of the book and read it. People who read Sandman, it's one of those things where you either fall into a category of you think it's some of the greatest stuff ever made, or you just, I'm not even gonna say you don't get it, or you fall into a category of a person who just doesn't mesh with you. I hope you're the part of the former, because I don't know, I'm a fanboy. Anyway, this drawing is of Dream, I guess, sitting on the throne of the Dream Helm, which is, I guess, is also his sigil. And I wanted to make some kind of creepy creation where it has like these flabby tits that are surrounding him. And Dream is an interesting character because his appearance will change consistently. And I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to it, like if it's based on his mood or something, but sometimes his domain will look one way and sometimes it'll look another. The story is consistently experimental with the art, like a lot of artists coming in and out, but I think it's clever because it works. And it works it helps the story out because, this guy controls dreams and imagination anyway, so he's always creating things, and I guess he's taking you through different realms, and things would look different from his perspective anyway. What else should I say about the story? I hope I've piqued your interest a little bit, because I really can't stress enough that this is a really good series. It's there's a lot of callbacks to the DC universe. There's callbacks to British literature, just world literature in general. It's very multicultural, and it draws from a lot of cultural myth as well. It's not like Batman in the sense where you have where it draws from ideas that were solely created in the universe. It'll take from things you're familiar with that you haven't really thought about in a while. Things such as like Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream universe, or some of his stories. Neil Gaiman pulls from stuff like that a lot. And I really do hope I'm making sense and not just repeating myself. It's a great story. This is a very fun drawing for me to do of Morpheus. If you guys want me to talk more about Sandman and sort of do some writing on it and really zero in on certain topics instead of just babbling, I'll do that. Or I'll tell you about different characters I like. If you guys are fans of the story, tell me about it. Or if you're not fans and you tried it, let me know about that too. But thanks for watching.